everybody, my name is Shoelace, and welcome to another product review on the Zool channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of a game or a piece of technology like a keyboard or a mouse, today I'm going to be reviewing a few RPGs. Both Force and Destiny, Age of Empire, and Age of Rebellion. Now, these are all part of the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars RPG, similar to Dungeons and Dragons and such. I am completely a noob when it comes to these sort of things, and this is just my simple product overview. If you're looking for a comparison towards other systems, then you're not going to find it here. But I'm just going to focus on how I felt about playing these games in general, just my personal thoughts and what you guys should probably do if you ever plan on playing this game. Alright, let's get started. Star Wars RPG, made by Fantasy Flight Games, takes place in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. In this, you have many opportunities to play as a smuggling rogue or a very wise Jedi. There's a lot of integration, there's a lot of different Star Wars characters, and there's just a ton of fun to play in this universe. It has all the force powers, it has all the blasters, as much technology and ship names as you can possibly get at. It involves different types of lore, such as things from both the extended universe and not, as well as some references to the Old Republic series. So it does allow for a large range of the Star Wars universe to be unfolded. Now, like most RPGs, Star Wars the role-playing game revolves a lot about dice rolls. Now, in this game, you have three 12-sided die, my mistake. You get 2d6s, you need two D100, like a D100, and you need 2 8-sided dice. Now, these are used mostly for graphing out if you can't find the official dice package that comes with this game. Currently, they're out of stock, so I wasn't able to present them for this video, but if you do want to have the official dice so that you don't have to be looking back and referencing a simple chart for these type of dice, then you can go buy a Star Wars dice app. It's available for both Android and iPhone products. Another resource that a GM might find useful would be the GM's Toolkit. This can be found along most shelves that these things would be sold at your local hobby store. But inside of this is just a very simple board. You've seen the same thing in Dungeons & Dragons, where it just kind of opens up into this nice little cliff note section of all the different things that you might not need to know in basic combat, movements, things like that. So here you got the critical hit section, you got maneuvers and stuff like that over here. So it's a very good tool to have alongside as GM. Now, playing the game, it's pretty difficult, especially when you're GMing for the first time. So look up online for different tools and different types of tips that you can come across. I have a couple of tips and tools that I can show here now. One of the first major tools that is available online would be the Og Dudes Character Creation Generator and GM Tools. You can find this online. It's a simple program that allows you to generate characters with ease, as well as create different enemies and print off statistic sheets to make your life a little bit easier as a GM, instead of having to flip through a dozen pages just to get to the damage section on what a blaster is in some guy's hand, or how much damage a Rancor would do. It just kind of streamlines your sessions so that you can easily prepare for anything that may or may not come your way. Because as I recently found out, GMing one of my first few sessions, that people will go off script quite occasionally. People will go out of their way to go in the most random, weird direction that you can possibly think of, but that's a more entertaining story. It feels more natural and more organic when the players have a bit more interaction with the script. So just have a broad sense of what you're doing, and then you can kind of steer them back on track after a couple of rounds or so. Another thing that you can use, of course, as I mentioned before, would be the Star Wars Dice app, which allows you to use the official dice of the Star Wars role-playing game. Now, just so that you know what kind of game you're getting into here, I'll give you a few rundowns of a few examples of things that have happened to me in my GM experience. It's just a couple of segments of the story that I have produced, and then you guys can get a better picture of what this game is like. During one of the sessions that I've hosted, I made up an idea that an AT-AT would be guarding some sort of Korriban Sith ruin that was being further studied by the Empire. So the three players, once they arrived, decided to sneak underneath the AT-AT and then managed to grapple their way into the innards. in which they took over the AT-AT and then decided to drive it directly into the Imperial encampment, blowing up literally everyone. Similar to the Phantom Menace, the three found themselves in a poisonous cave once they got inside the Sith ruin. In there, two of them dropped almost instantly to the ground, weeping in pain, while one had to drag both of their asses out of the poisonous gas. In another session, one of the players managed to track down someone who stole a TIE fighter from him, so once he got to the bar on Hutta, he managed to mind trick a nearby bounty hunter to shoot someone else in the head for him. This one is my personal favorite. At the end of the Hidden Death story, little thing that you get along with the Game Master's kit, at the end of the story, you have to fight a boss called Iron Arm, and he's a pretty hefty guy with a bunch of stormtroopers around him, and he's kind of a tough fight. So what the three guys decided to do is they had a speeder that they used to get there and back, so they decided to drive the speeder into Iron Arm, blowing it up like a whole bunch of their ship and a bunch of the stormtroopers, and yet still Iron Arm just got up and then began to beat the living pulp out of them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment down below if you want me to continue doing videos like these, based off of whether, like Warhammer, or if you actually want me to do a Dungeons & Dragons one, anything like that. Please let me know down in the comments, because then, I'll have an actual excuse to try some things other than just this. I have not been Zool. Have an excellent day.